Hello, everybody.
Well, all right. How y'all doing? Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have some fun right about now.
Oh my gosh, well, Matthew McConaughey, is that you?
I don't know what you're referring to. This is how I always speak. Go with it. It's to make me look cooler.
Oh, I've always wanted to meet you.
Well,
I loved you in Dallas Buyers Club. That was crazy.
I worked my tail off for that. I lost a lot of weight for that
You
one.
sure did. You sure did.
I would like to apologize to anybody of Southern dialect that I might have offended
All
with
of
that.
the Matthew McConaughey's who are listening right now, deeply apologize.
I had a role a couple of years back that took place in the South, and I've always been a big fan of Mr. McConaughey's, but I've become a really gigantic fan since True Detective, and seeing him take this this arc, this turn. That first season of True Detective, for me, one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. Some of the best acting and chemistry I've ever seen with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
I love Woody.
Yeah, I'll watch anything Woody Harrelson does.
I love it.
Anything. Woody Harrelson's reading a phone book, I'll watch. And that show was really good, but his accent, his natural born accent, is a strong Texas accent, but it has these touches of Georgia in it. And that I don't know. I don't know necessarily why. But so I really tried to learn that voice and do my own version of it for this role. And I find myself, it's the only accent, like even the English accent and doing Sherlock and those, it's the only one that I find myself where I accidentally fall into it sometimes. And then I can't get out of it.
Oh, no.
I'm like stuck.
Accidental method acting.
Yeah, and I've noticed that, like, especially when I was doing the role, I was doing the morning show, and I would be going over my lines. I jump on the air. Well, good morning, Wisconsin. How y'all doing? Like, no.
What happened to James?
Yeah, it's not good.
This is cowboy.
Not good.
That's okay. I have like a really slight Matthew McConaughey story too. So it's like a split second memory. I was in like the room with my mom, and I'm like in my early 20s, and we're talking, and she like looks at me and she's like, "Whoa, you looked like Matthew McConaughey for a second." I was like, "Thank you." Like, that feels really nice. If I had to be compared to somebody, I'll take it.
That is not a bad comparison.
No,
that
not
is
at
a
all.
pretty
I
darn
will
good
take
comparison. It's interesting to say that to your daughter, but it's still a good comparison.
We could have been drinking wine. I don't remember, but
it only adds to the story. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's like that makes it even sweet. All of a sudden,
it was a really nice compliment.
It went from a little to like
how endearing.
that's sweet.
I remember making a Facebook post, and at the time you could customize like, blank is feeling, and I put is feeling all right. So
nice.
Perfect full circle.
As a side note, just between us, we'll edit this out. We won't edit this out. I'd love to have a glass of wine with your mom. I think that'd be pretty full circle for us. Yes, absolutely. We have to. All three of us having a nice bottle of wine or box of wine if you want. I don't care.
Oh man, a box of wine. I'm gonna polish that baby off.
I'm not much of a drinker, but if I'm going to do it, I suppose.
I know. When in Rome.
Yeah. Well, we should probably start the show. Huh?
Maybe. And we haven't seen each other in like a little while, so
if you
it's
couldn't tell
like
everybody,
up.
yeah. And I'm glad you said that too, because I wanted to send an appreciation shout out to you and to the greatest podcast listeners in the game. We appreciate all of you.
You guys are so nice.
Yeah, we're sorry we had the week off there. That falls on me, but not all completely.
Okay, good.
And I'm saying that because I caught where it was going. I caught myself that I was doing that.
It's okay to set boundaries and take a break when you need it.
I've talked a lot, whether it is in morning shows and the 5 different shows I do on the air or something like this, and we talk about mental health a lot as a society nowadays. And I think we've gotten to a really good place. And we got room to grow, but we've gotten to a great place. But I think like a lot of people, myself included, I'm really good at, hey, you need to do this. You should do this for yourself. You got to put yourself first. It is the airplane situation. Your airplane's going down, you've got to put your mask on first. If you don't, you can't, no matter how much your instincts tell you to put the mask on your kid first or the person next to you, you're going to pass out before you can do it.
Right,
So you got to put yours on first.
Until you help yourself. Yeah.
I haven't always been good at taking my own medicine. So the...
Hard.
last week we had an amazing dinner together, you and Matt and my
for his
parents.
birthday.
Yeah,
it was
I
very
couldn't remember
nice.
what it was for.
Oh, please.
And that was great.
Yeah.
But I noticed that that night I was feeling really more run down than usual. I wasn't able to get any sleep, and the next day we had a real ruckus on the air where our system was just off air.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to get together, record, and I was very honest with you, and you were incredibly complimentary and kind about it. That I not only didn't have the headspace to be here, the bandwidth to be here, but I lost my voice. And
Yeah.
so to be honest, even if I was in the greatest of spirits, I don't know if I would have been able to do a
Yeah.
very good podcast. My voice would have sounded, if you know who Doc Rivers is, it would have sounded a little like that. So all in all, that being said, I took my own medicine.
Yeah, I'm
And-
glad that you did.
And I think that it's been building towards being in a better state of mind and being better at this and better at my own day-to-day life and being better for the
Good.
people in my life. I hope that others can take a note and do that for themselves from time to time because you really
Good.
need to.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known unless I actually did it, and I didn't have the encouragement from you. So I
Oh.
really appreciate that.
Good, I'm glad.
One of the tougher things that I have found being a parent is when you have to let your kid or somebody kind of parent you in a way or something. I do this for my folks almost on a daily basis. It's a
That
little
must
weird.
be an oldest child
Yeah.
thing.
It's a little weird to have to be on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think that it's remarkable when we can grow from taking in from other people. We're not too big to be like, well, I can only take my own advice or something.
It ended up working out too because the other day, I think it was it Monday? Yeah, the days are all blurring together. And just to let you know, we're recording on a Tuesday. Just break the fourth wall a little bit. But
In true Muppet style.
yes, absolutely nice. We on the air. I've 20 some years in radio. I've never had this happen. We're on the air and our system isn't there. So basically, what that means is I can't take commercial breaks. If I do, it's dead air.
Oh my gosh.
We can't have dead air
It's
and
a
talk radio.
filibuster.
So we talked for about an hour and a half straight.
Oh my gosh.
Just pretty much. We did have a news break here or there or whatever, but Melissa, who
Sure.
our co-host, wonderful co-host, did the live news. And Seth, who you know, and has worked with us a couple of times now, did an amazing job of being able to like play musical chairs with me because I'm by the board and all that. So we're
Right.
doing all that live on the air.
Oh my gosh.
I would have been I wouldn't, there's no way we would have made it if I didn't take that day the week before. Not even a week before. So in just like
Yeah.
a couple days before that, I have that Thursday with you, that kind of mental rest day in some ways, and led me to be able to kind of like be
Oh,
there
wow.
for my
Yeah.
team that day.
Whew.
It was just crazy.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's coming.
Right.
So being able to take those days when you can is
Take care of
even
yourself.
more important than we
Yeah.
might realize because I was going to push through and you were very helpful in guiding me in the right direction. And thank goodness I did because I barely have a voice now. I couldn't imagine what would have happened if I had tried to push through that.
Yeah. Well, that's also why I made you tea, because
Yes,
I figured
thank
your
you.
voice was good.
In the
Maybe
glass,
be
the
rough.
cup too. It's
I
so
thought
awesome.
you would also appreciate the cup. For our listeners, it is a Doctor Who cup.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
awesome.
I should maybe address my
Oh,
sunglasses
that is really
as
good,
well.
too.
Oh, good.
Actually, I was going to see how long we could go without mentioning the sunglasses. I didn't know how long we'd go.
For those who are only listening.
Yeah, to the audio audience.
Yeah, I've got a blanket around me and sunglasses. It probably looks like I just had a procedure done or something.
I like the idea too, like if people are just looking at this and they think we're in two separate rooms.
Right,
Like,
different climates.
Yeah.
I have my husband and I have two skylights in our
Beautiful skylight.
upstairs where we're where we're filming,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just direct pure sunlight coming right at my
Just
eyes.
right in your eyes.
So we were about to record, and I was like, "Hang on, I'm gonna grab my sunglasses so I can kind of function a little bit."
Yeah.
And I just felt cozy, so that's why I have a blanket.
Right. No, and I don't want you to feel
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
don't want you to
Now
feel
I don't
like you're
feel
the only
weird.
one. So now I have put on my sunglasses. So this is kind of actually nice.
It is
actually,
kind
it
of
is a
nice.
little nice. But it does feel a little bit also like I'm posing. Like.
I think you pulled it off.
Thank you.
Before we get started, I wanted to tell you something. So I wrote 2 fan letters, and I sent them out yesterday.
Cool.
And I've been wanting to write these, one of them in particular, for like pretty much my whole life. So it was really nerve-wracking to write it. So that one was to Tony Shalhoub. Yeah, Mr. Monk himself.
Yeah, Appleton's own.
I know, right? So I made him and his wife each like a little word search book that is just like monk themed.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it has 10 word searches because Monk's favorite number is 10. And each puzzle is like monk themed because I've been watching the show since I was like 6 years old. Well, we'll see. Let's see if he likes it or he asks for a restraining order.
Yeah. I mean, at least you know it's one or the other.
Yeah, I'll get something back from him.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. And the other one was to Billy Crystal to tell him that I admired his book a lot and it meant a lot to me. And I mentioned Grandpa Jim that I'm going to borrow it to him. And I think that he'll get a lot from the book too.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's such a great book. 700 Sundays by Billy Crystal.
You know, a good bio or a good book like that, I think tells the artist's story certainly, but has relatability to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it sounds like that book definitely had it.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't surprise me with a person like him. Billy Crystal's one of those guys that has, I think, an incredible career.
Honestly, though.
Yeah.
It's just like the best you could ask for.
Well, also, I think being pretty, like in interviews and in his stand-up and other opportunities, being very, real, being very himself. What you see is what you get kind of person.
Yeah.
It seems like, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I got too, especially from the book. Like, he's had a very interesting life, but he did such a great job being vulnerable in the book. Like, I could feel it every time I picked the book up, and that's mainly what I thanked him for like putting something out that was so vulnerable, because as an author myself, obviously not as big as Billy Crystal yet.
Yet.
I get so tickled when I get a message or something from somebody saying, I liked this part, or this book helped me through this, so I thought I could pass it along.
I encourage everybody to do that. I think everybody should do those kind of things. Maybe you don't do it with every song you hear, but you do it with every song that hits you.
Yeah.
Every book that does, every performance or something.
Yeah.
I get a little of that in the acting I've done, and I've gotten a bit of it from radio, which is so the definition of humbling. But I think we have a pretty good example right here.
I was just about to say that. You guys do that all the time. Like, our inbox just gets, like, loaded with all of these really nice messages and the comments and just everything. It really warms my heart. Can't see my eyes, but I'm, like, bawling right
now. We actually have had to stop 3 times because she's
we said we didn't edit, but had to get Kleenex.
You set me up perfectly too, because it's this awesome band of furry friends that we have here that wished me a happy birthday.
That makes me so happy.
Listeners, from the radio from time to time do, but I had like people that we just don't know each other. I had strangers wishing me happy birthday. I'm not used to that. It was incredibly humbling, and if I didn't handle it well, I apologize. But I'm really not good at taking them. I don't know how to handle those things. I'm learning.
We're both not great at taking compliments.
That was the coolest thing, though.
That's so sweet.
I just get these notices on my Instagram and stuff. Say, hey, so and so messaged you, and oh my gosh, that's really, really cool. And
it's just the sweetest. It's so wholesome.
I am one of those people where the thought does count. Like I know some people say that maybe they mean it, maybe they don't. It really is that for me. And
absolutely.
I am just blown away by that still, and it's like almost a week later, and I'm still blown away.
You guys are so sweet.
I appreciate that, and I think that was really cool that you sent those letters. Awesome. Let us know how they go.
Yes.
And
updates.
Others write to your influences and let people know.
Admire them.
And take it a step further too, and always let the people in your life know how you feel.
Yes. People close to home.
Bree, I think you're cool.
I think you're super.
See, just like that. We gave it a example.
Right, there we go. And we took the compliment.
Yeah, yes.
Anyway, so this is
how about the show? I was just going to deflect too. If you didn't do it, I was going to do it.
This is episode 31.
31!
Woo! I can't believe it. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
So it does mean we are dwindling down.
That part I try not to think about.
I know. I'm so nervous to pull Kermit. It's not even funny. It's not even an exaggeration. I'm very nervous.
As we stretch this out even more before we even start the show, really,
I'm so
what are you more
sorry.
nervous for? Because I've thought about this. I've
Okay.
debated this in my head. Are you more nervous to pull Kermit or more nervous to get down to like the last couple?
Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is for me. You've got me
Yeah.
on the Kermit thing now, where I'm just as nervous
He's
too.
the big guy.
He's the big dog. Yep, he's the
Oh,
or
you know
frog.
what? You know what we should have done? What I should have done when I set up the show? I should have put Jim Henson in the hat.
Ooh, can we?
He's a Muppet.
Well, we could probably still throw him in there,
Yeah,
couldn't we?
you guys cool with that?
Yeah, if you guys are cool with it, please let us know.
Just ignore the numbers in our trailer for the podcast
Yeah.
and everywhere where it's written.
Well, honestly, I mean, I kind of think that we're making
kinda
the
like it.
rules here.
Yeah, it's our
if we
show.
want to, I think we throw Jim in
Okay,
there.
all right. Yeah.
Mr. Henson.
Yeah, Mr. Henson. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, I'll have to add like an extra question in those to like
think
balance
that'd be
everything
good.
out. But yeah.
Let me know if I can help.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we
On
should
with the
start.
show. Yeah.
I don't know who pulls out of that hat.
Sweetums? Yeah, you're no help.
He said rock paper scissors.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that is good. Let's do it. Okay, rock, paper, scissors, right?
Yep. Rock,
1,
paper,
2, 3.
scissors. How do you do it?
On three.
Okay,
we
okay.
we've never played rock, paper, scissors
No, we haven't.
before. Okay, so how
It's
about on
evident
3?
now. Okay, okay. On three.
1, 2, 3. Oh. I haven't played rock, paper, scissors in so long.
We'll do it again. That's a
Alright.
practice.
Best, yeah, this is just practice round.
Okay.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So you go first.
All right.
There you go.
I also went with rock, I'll be honest with everybody, because it was simple. There's no
okay.
strategy there.
Nobody's
is there?
judging. That's okay.
And as far as I can see from the board, Sweetums has its the score.
And it looks like.
Let's see if we're gonna even this up. And we have a fact, and yep.
Yay!
Yay, we're even.
Sweetums has pulled the little celebration popper. He loves a tie.
He really does love
Loves
those.
everyone to win.
He's got a great smile too.
Oh.
Jim Henson's mom, Betty Henson, is owed a great big round of applause for throwing out a turquoise-green jacket, and I'll tell you why. Jim Henson took this jacket and, in all his creative wonder, created the very first version of Kermit the Frog. Created from a tossed-out coat and ping-pong balls clearly used as eyes.
He sure did.
Oh
That
my
little
goodness.
visionary.
Um,
What a
and-
sweet
and
mom too.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. Are there pictures of that?
Maybe I don't know. If
I have a
that's-
vague image in my head, and I don't know if
Yeah.
my imagination is filling in the blanks or if I've actually seen a photo or not.
Right.
We'll have to look
I
into
don't know
that.
either. I don't know if that's also like I know he did Sam and Friends. If that's like
Oh yeah,
one of
yeah.
the puppets in there.
That's right. Yeah, I'll look another time because I really am curious now.
Yeah.
But
How cool though.
incredibly, and it's weird to me too. I didn't know this as a kid, but so many of my early influences, almost every one of them, like 9 out of 10. Their mother is integral in their
Aw.
creative process. Not just that they're a big part of their lives, like 99.9% of moms out there. And shout out to all the moms.
We love you, moms.
Yeah, love you. But like integral in the creative process.
Oh wow.
It's
Who else is in there?
Robin Williams. I think is my biggest example.
Really?
Robin.
I didn't know his mom was like super.
Oh yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Aw.
His my voice that I did earlier, and like many of the voices you hear me do are really just early or fine-tuned versions of voices that I've been doing since I was about 7, 8 years old for my
Aw.
mom.
Yeah.
When my dad would be gone for whatever my reasons or whatever, in order to make her laugh, I would do voices, I would do characters and everything.
Aw, aren't you sweet?
And I'd, slip and fall down or whatever and everything. Well, 15 years later, 16, whatever it was years later, I'm in my late teens, and I'm reading about Robin Williams and his life. And he did not for the same reasons, but did a very similar thing for him. His first audience was his mom.
Aw.
My first audience was my mom and my sister,
that's
and my
so
dad to a
sweet.
degree. My dad loved Cheech and Chong bits,
Mhm.
so he would have me memorize Cheech, and he would do Chong, and we'd record it out of the audio. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know the jokes.
were
I didn't get what I was.
following the lead,
Yeah. But
wow.
Jim with his getting that coat.
Yeah.
Say that a stranger throws that jacket out, he may not have looked at it. It may not be the same. I think that it matters that it was his mother doing it. I think
it's
that's
a cherished
a big part of it.
Yeah, I love how family oriented Jim is, and how like even his coworkers and his collaborators become family to him, and he just seems like a very family embedded person.
Yeah, it sounded like what little we've gotten to hear from our guests, and that he was like that on set too. It seemed like that was the vibe, and you watch some of the makings of some of those Muppet movies and everything, and the Muppet Show itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how cool that we were just talking about Kermit too, and then that comes
That's
up.
perfect. Yeah, there are no coincidences.
Well, here we go.
Ooh,
From the Muppet movie hat.
Still working on my drum roll. It's more of a high hat.
Oh, shoot, I got two. Okay, I got it. And we have Floyd Pepper.
Yay! Floyd! Oh, I love Floyd.
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about him today. That's so funny. I was watching just a very little bit of the beginning of Steve Martin's episode on the Muppet Show.
Yes.
And Floyd is in there a little bit, just the part that I watched. And he's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Wow, just what a relaxed kind of person.
Man. Floyd is, so first off, Floyd Pepper is the bass player for the Electric Mayhem Band on The Muppet Show. Fill in the blanks there. He first appeared in the 1975 pilot of The Muppet Show, which is like make him one of the older characters, certainly, like most of the Mayhem. Floyd's, he's got, he's one of the, maybe there is more Muppets than I realize this, and as I'm saying it, I was going to say right away, he's one of the first ones I think of when I think of sarcastic Muppets. Or maybe borderline adult humor, kind of arranging into that.
He gets away with it more.
Yeah, almost like if we got a line for parents, we're going to give it to Floyd kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there is a bit of sarcasm in a number of Muppet characters and everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Almost any response to Fozzie is sarcastic. Yeah. Floyd's, I think, got, maybe you can make the argument, the funnest face.
Oh yeah,
of any
his
Muppet.
eyes. I don't think anyone else really has eyes like him because they're just like, they're almost like voids.
Yeah,
a little bit with big eyelashes.
I want to make sure I get that. The beard, the hair, everything, the color, the look of it. You just want to grab it. You just, it's awesome. His whole appearance is great.
Yeah, he's just a cool Muppet. Like, you just want him to like you. Not that he's ever gonna say it, but if he can tolerate you, like, that's a compliment. He's
definitely the one of the, like the rest of the Mayhem, pretty darn laid back. But the thing I think I like too is and I don't remember much of this, but him and Animal, and the contrast and the funny scenes that those two could make. That's probably one of my memories that I really like of him.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because they have a really sentimental moment in the Mayhem show that Disney did, where it kind of shows the origin of how that relationship started. I was so surprised to see it.
I love origin stories.
I
gotta see that.
It was so heartwarming. Like, Floyd was, younger. He's like a musician in like jeans, he's just like jamming in his own house. And then somebody knocks at the door and he opens it and it's like little baby animal in a cage and it says, I think it said keep on it. If I'm remembering correctly. Or don't throw out or something like that. Somebody that
Why did that hit me so hard?
I know! Me too, and I was watching it by myself.
I'm just getting soft.
It's the Muppets. Yeah, but he like keeps that post-it note, I think, and it's just very sweet, and it makes it even more wholesome to look back on different movies and episodes where Floyd really is like his caretaker, for lack of a better word. They just have a bond.
I love that, and it gives me all the more reason to want to watch that show.
It was really good. I'm so sad it got canceled.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. I know some people were pretty content with it. They're like, it doesn't need to like go any further, but they left it to go further, so I was looking forward to it, but
I think with certain networks, their expectations are going to be different than others. And with Disney owning ABC and ABC being able to kind of be, they're one of the big dogs. They're them and CBS are usually 1 or 2 in the ratings, overall ratings at the end of the, all that, and the way that they keep track of that stuff. So with that, they get a lot of advertising dollars, they get a lot of money, and they can, for one, take chances on shows like giving a show like that an opportunity. And at the same time, if it doesn't work, drop it right away. Disney is doing that with a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a big change in the Marvel universe with that, and the Star Wars universe with that, where I think they're going to be, well, actually, I think they've even come out and said this, that they're dialing a lot of that back. And it doesn't mean that it's going to stop. It's never going to stop. But I do see them pulling it back a lot more. And maybe that gives more openings for other things to be able to, you know, because as much as I love those two mediums, those two things, there's other stories to tell.
Yeah.
There's, you know.
That's very true.
So Floyd Pepper.
Yeah, I think also one of my favorite things about Floyd is when he laughs, because his eyes close really tight and his mouth just, like, it's so animated for, like, the lack of facial expression that a Muppet can have. It's one of my favorite parts about him. I love when he laughs.
Like a lot of characters, I feel like there's some basis on real people that Jim, or who the creator of Floyd, probably took influence from. And I think we all know somebody that has tendencies like Floyd, whether it's the sarcasm part or it's that kind of laugh. Definitely know somebody like that.
Yeah. Oh, and him and Janice, they're
perfect one and two.
What a lovely couple. Yeah.
Yes,
I love it for them. Love to go on a double date sometime. Maybe Sweetums could. He doesn't want to be part of it. That's okay.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm used to being the third wheel, so if Sweetums doesn't want to do it, I'll do it. I'll be the third wheel. I have no problem doing it. I've gotten kind of used to it. Should we?
Let's put Floyd in a situation.
Let's put Floyd in some fun situation.
Name,
oh, great name, Floyd Pepper. Great name. All right. And Floyd, you are going to. What kind of date would this Muppet plan for a first date with their Muppet crush?
Whoa, how weird! That's so weird.
That's crazy.
That's really weird.
How does this stuff keep happening?
I don't know.
That's so amazing.
Could you repeat the question? Sorry, I got so thrown.
No, that's fine. What kind of date would this Muppet plan for a first date with their Muppet crush?
Okay, so I guess his and Janice's first date.
And not to keep setting us backwards here or anything, but I did have a thought with the last thing you were touching on there with him and Janice, and with the origin story of him and Animal and everything. What it must be like to write those things. Because Jim Henson and his team gave a lot of data, a lot of detail to a lot of these characters. There's blanks that got to be filled in. And if you're a young writer or writer just in general, I can't imagine the first off, the humbleness to be able to write that story if it hadn't already been written. I'm not as sure if it has. I don't know if that's a story that they built off of or if that's just something they created, Animal and Floyd's backstory here. But to be able to write that seems like a gift.
Yeah.
Be able to like write something like that. And
yeah.
Whenever you're creating origin stories or something, I just think that part is kind of cool. And now we get to kind of do that because Floyd has Janice.
Right, yeah.
So let's imagine.
I liked that tie-in.
It was going somewhere.
Yeah.
It was a reach, but I got there. Floyd. All right, Janice says yes to that first date. Here, man, all right. And
for sure.
Yes, that's exactly how she responded. Now he's got to oh no, where am I going to take her?
Oh, can I add something precursor
Please.
To that? Yeah. I had a little thought. So I don't know how old they are. So bear with me on that. But I had this vision of how they met.
Oh,
this is just my little creative mind
this.
going. So they're I'll set the scene. It's Woodstock.
Perfect.
Right. And
Perfect.
Floyd's got his guitar strapped on his back, and he's just walking through, hands in his pockets. And then he hears this singing and a little ukulele strum. And he's like, "Hey man, that's really pretty." And he's looking around, his little eyes are squinting. And then he sees this girl on a blanket, and she's got her little uke and her long blonde hair. And he comes over and he says, "Mind if I sit down?" And she's like, "For sure." And he sits down, and that's just how it is.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is the origin story. That is
I don't know if they have a true origin story, so I apologize if I wrote over that, but that's just what I saw in my mind.
I like that one better. Even if they do, I like that one better. That's perfect.
Okay, so that goes well, and he asks her on a date. So what is he gonna plan for this date?
Boy, as a side note, it had to have been weird the day after Woodstock. It had to have been really, waking up to some people and some of this, the clearing of the mind and some of those things. What did we we just do?
It's history now, man.
The day after had to have been quite day after of all day afters.
That fourth day, yeah.
So for their day after, Floyd reaches out and she says yes to this first official date.
Yeah.
Where he takes her, what he plans.
I think that he has like a day of like really nice things planned, but everything goes wrong. But at the end of it, Janice thinks that everything was planned that way and she loved it. Or something like that.
I like that, and my brain is going in a little bit of the same direction.
I would love to hear what you were thinking.
First off, I like yours better. But I like the idea of Floyd planning, hey, let me take you to a movie, man. There's this great new movie playing. And they have plans to, and they get together and they get talking, and then they get talking, and they're doing this or that or whatever.
Aww.
And they completely miss the movie, but they still have a great time and obviously end up together. So we're thinking of a similar thing, a plan that doesn't go through.
That's so relatable too, because when you first meet someone that you have so much admiration for them, you really can just talk forever.
Yes.
I remember Matt and I had a lot of moments like that, and we still do, but like it's different when you first start talking to somebody and you're first learning things about them. Oh man, it just makes me feel giddy inside. It's so sweet.
It's one of the best parts of a new relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, truly. Oh, I like that.
That's good.
That was good. That was sweet.
Pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Both of them. I like yours too.
Yeah, I could see them walking through a park or something, and they'll see like a jam session going on. They'll go join them for a second, and then they come back. Oh, that's sweet. I like that.
I like the idea too of them joining the mayhem together.
Yeah.
Like they join at the same time and everything.
Yeah.
Like they audition together or something like that.
Right.
Like I don't know why, but I like or maybe even better. They don't even know they're in the same band together yet.
I think that's like I just got in this cool band.
Maybe Floyd knew, Janice not so much. Maybe Janice is like, whoa. Do I know you? Yeah. We were supposed to go to the movies and we didn't. We talked all night.
Oh, for sure. Do you have any favorite Floyd moments?
Just the kind of the ones I think I was mentioning before with Animal and I loved another one of these characters where always it seemed like the funniest line in the Muppet Show to me was the one that he delivered or something.
His delivery is pretty great.
I'm a big fan of sarcasm, and usually those characters were the ones that I remember the most.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, yeah. I love his and Animal's bond, and he does have a really great sarcastic delivery.
Is that your kind of favorite memories of him?
I think so. I'm trying to pick ones out that are just of Floyd, and sometimes when we're in the battlefield, it's hard to.
Oh yeah, it happens
it's
to
hard
me
to
every
think
episode.
of the moments. I know. We have some very nice listeners who send us clips. And I'm so thankful for it too, because I'm like, oh yeah, like I didn't even think of that or something. Because it's hard when you're in the moment.
As much as I hope that people are enjoying, and they must be enjoying somewhat, they keep listening. I also imagine them at home yelling at the radio or yelling at their...
What about this part?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is an integral part of the show, I think. I think that's a fun part of the show.
You can yell at us.
Oh, yes.
That's fine.
And please, feel free to, your feedback and all that. We like that stuff.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's put Floyd in another situation. The would you hat.
Would you?
Would you? This Muppet. All right, Floyd. Would you go into a Shark Tank meeting with this Muppet, and what would your grand invention be?
All right, great question. Awesome
I feel like
question.
this should have come up with Pepe.
Yes.
That
Oh
would
my
have
goodness.
been perfect.
All right. Well,
but we'll do it with Floyd.
We'll do an extra for Pepe. For Pepe, for some reason, I'm thinking bug spray. Like something like that. It goes horribly wrong. It has to go horribly wrong.
Get some kind of infection or something.
Like a blind Mark Cuban or something like that. It's something. And Pepe and I are like freaking out.
He'll be like, "Get that shrimp out of here," and then Pepe will be like, "I am a king prawn."
we it messes up, but then we try to like lean into it, like act like we're meant to do it, like.
It's a side effect only for 1% of the population.
But for Floyd, I like the idea of Floyd making like bass strings that don't break.
Why were we thinking of like the same thing? I was thinking something like organic something with the guitar or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Oh, hey man, have you ever thought about an organic guitar? And it's made completely of hemp. It's made.
Right.
It can't really play, but it's cool.
But it looks cool.
Like, boy, we're not gonna sponsor that, man. I don't know if that's cool at all, but no, you can really play it. And he's trying, and it won't play, and he can't hook it up to the amp.
Right. It's all for show.
Yeah.
I really like your idea though of the unbreakable bass strings because that actually would
Well, that
make
actually
it
would be a
Shark
really
Tank.
great invention. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, yes, all in. Yes. I haven't watched that since like its first season, but some of it wasn't bad.
either.
It wasn't a bad
Yeah.
show. I just couldn't. There's too much TV. I can't watch half of
Right.
the shows I want to watch.
I think the last time I saw it, it was like Shark Tank episode within a TV episode. So it was technically Shark Tank. It was an episode of Grace and Frankie for anybody who like watches that show.
It's a fun show.
I love that show.
Great, amazing cast.
Have you seen it?
No, but I've seen like highlights of it.
Okay. I was gonna say I am a little surprised, but we need to immediately talk about every single episode if you have.
Yeah, and now I will though.
It's a little vulgar, I'll be honest.
Which I don't mind. And
Jane
I
Fonda
I was
and
gonna
Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect less.
Yeah.
Two of the better actors I've ever seen. So.
Oh yeah.
I love that we are in a day and age too where we get to see them because it wasn't too long ago. Actors like that, I'm sorry, we don't have any work for you. You can go away now.
They touch on that a lot. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
The exclusion of like older women in particular, but just like women in general.
It's a better day, not only for the entertainment world, but for obviously those that love good entertainment to have these actors as long as we can, as long as they want to work, being able to give them roles for the opportunity to work.
They're both so talented.
Mm-hmm. So I think that answers that.
Yeah,
I think that's
so.
pretty good.
You've got some great answers today. I like them.
Take that mental rest day. It actually pays off.
There you go. All right, our Patreon hat.
Yeah.
For Mr. Floyd. By Mr. Pepper.
Let's see, Mr. Pepper. What's going on? Ooh, and this is an anonymous one.
Ooh.
Let's see. If you had to assign 6 Muppets to set up a party, which Muppets would you ask? Whoa.
6.
Wow.
6 Muppets to set up a party. What kind of, you get to pick what kind of party you want to have.
Okay.
What kind of party are you going to have?
Oh, you know what?
I think that would determine what Muppets you pick.
Well, yes. Yeah. How about like a watch party?
Oh, that's so fun! I like that.
I've
that's
never
so
done really
fun.
one of those, and I'd like to do something like that.
I used to host an Oscars party, and it was a lot of fun.
that
I
would
print
be a
out
blast.
ballots for everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really
See,
fun.
that's the kind. I've never done anything like that. I'd love to do something like that. Those are fun things.
It's coming up in March, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oscars,
Yeah, next
like
month.
every March.
Yeah. Watch out! I've got my votes in already, and I've been very honest about being very biased about. Well, the biggest one that because I think that Oppenheimer is going to come close to sweeping a lot of the awards, as it probably should. There are a few movies I've seen in the last 20 years that hit me like that movie
like
did.
the best movie of the century.
It's incredible. It is incredible.
Seen it.
And it's an important story that we're finally getting to see the cuts and bruises of as American citizens, as humans, human beings, getting to see the whole story of that finally. Cillian Murphy, it's not just his performance, it's how incredible much he looks like J.D. He looks incredibly like J.D. Oppenheimer. And
I do love when the casting director can do that.
I'm biased. I obviously have mentioned this many times, but Robert Downey Jr. is one of my guys, and it's the best acting arguably I've ever seen him do.
Really? Wow.
It's incredible. And I think that's saying something, considering I think he's never given a bad performance, going way back to his early days and everything. I've never seen Robert Downey Jr. give a bad performance. This, I think, puts him a step above. And where Christopher Nolan talked about this recently, and I'm so thankful that he did, because it's so niche nowadays to talk trash about superhero movies and all that. Every older, if you didn't know how old a director is, you know as soon as they comment on this stuff. Okay, you're either out of touch, or you're stuck in your bubble, or you're
jealous or something.
Or something along. Pick one. Maybe it's D, all of the above. And I'm shooting myself in the foot as an actor saying this, because these are directors that I spent my whole life wanting to work with. I would do anything to work with Martin Scorsese.
And you will.
Yeah, we'll see, especially after talking like this. But you miss me with that stuff, no matter who you are. You're obviously entitled to your opinion, and you've built a career that I could never come close to, and probably know more about film than I'll ever know. But I would say that you don't know audiences, because if audiences are going to see these things, that's what this is about. Yes, cinema should be about creating great art and being able to tell stories and give a mirror to society and all these things. It's also supposed to be about entertaining people, like and taking people out of their lives and giving them something fun to watch and everything. Some directors that I've looked up to, like Quentin Tarantino and that I've really lost a lot of respect for, to be kind of blunt, because not because of their opinion, but because of this almost snobbish attitude towards, oh, I'm bigger, I'm better than this, or this is hurting film.
It's the uncalled for.
First off, who are you to speak for all of film? Like, who are you to speak
who
for?
Put the crown on you?
Like, miss me with that. Like, that's not.
Miss me with that.
I don't think that anybody has a right, and even I don't have necessarily a right to be saying some of this stuff and everything. I think it's up to the audiences.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine to talk about it, but to like write it off. Don't
to be so dismissive and to talk down to something, you always will lose me on that. I don't, even if I agree with you, you lose me on the delivery. And that's important in life. That's important in how you come across with things. You can argue, you can disagree with somebody. But you can do it like this, in this tone,
Civilized.
in this way. We need to do more of that. I think that I think that when it comes to these 6 Muppets and a watch party, I'm gonna pull it back. I will get there.
Bring it back.
It's my fault we went all the way over here, so I gotta get us back.
No, it's okay.
I think that a watch party would be fun for these, and I don't know. Let's choose 3 each. How about that? That might make this a little bit easier.
So we're gonna do a combined watch party for the Oscars.
Okay. Oh, for the Oscars. I like that. Okay.
Okay, or whatever.
Yeah, for some event, maybe a movie premiere or the Oscars or anything. I don't think that part is too needed. You guys can fill in that part. Go ahead and give us your ansers. Those are good.
Yeah,
that's
I like
good.
that.
Oh, I like that last one. That was really good. We'll
Sweetums.
Yeah, nice.
You dog
we didn't even ask you. So I think that you've got to have Fozzie there. I think Fozzie's a great one. He'll lighten the mood. He's going to have great commentary. And even if things are like slow on screen, Fozzie's going to help keep the pace going a little bit. He may talk a little bit too much during the movie. I was going to say,
you might have to get him on like snacks or something. Give him a job. Like, hey, Fozzie, this party's great, but it'd be even better if we had some like, and give him a ridiculous snack to go like put together. If we had some homemade trail mix. He's in the kitchen put together.
I'm a little hesitant to say this, but I almost feel like as far as a Muppet not to have, I think you kind of have, hey, you know what, Miss Piggy, why don't you go do a spa day? You go do something. You go on and do something.
Yeah, I don't think she needs to see all of those, like, that attention. Like, she needs some
all that attention given to anything other than her. I don't know if that'd be really healthy for her.
We're in agreement. I'd like to do something with her.
Absolutely.
But that is not the place. It's not the audience.
Well, she's off doing that after the watch party, then do something with her.
The after party.
Yeah, she's definitely invited to the after party.
And don't tell her about the before party.
The after party for everybody else is actually the party to her.
Yes,
it's the main party to her.
So you want to? Okay, so you pick Fozzie. Do you want to alternate?
Sure. Yeah, we'll do it that way.
I think I would invite Uncle Dudley. Like,
for
good
sure. One. Yes.
I just would really love to be friends with him. He's just got this like sassiness inside of him that I feel like we're soul sisters. It's just be really great. And we would both take it seriously.
Perfect answer. That's a great one. I love the idea, even if he doesn't say anything, him just there in the background. Like, just even having him there is great.
Right, he's like grimacing as he crosses off. If it was an Oscar.
What's he doing over there?
He takes us very seriously.
I love that. That is a great answer.
Thank you.
I am going to cheat with my next one and take 2 spots. Because I
see.
You have to have. Oh God! Now I dropped their names.
Stettler and Waldorf.
Stettler and Waldorf. Yeah, thank you so much. You have to have them.
Do you think that they would be in heckling mode?
Yes.
Still.
Yeah. You know what? I have a feeling they always are. Like,
Yeah,
maybe they didn't
even
start
they're
out that way.
alone.
Like, there's an origin story I'd like to see. Like, them as young men getting together and stuff, and they just happen to, like...
They're just finally growing into their personalities.
I feel like that they've been doing this so long that even when they're just, like, getting up in the morning, like, they're razzing each other. Or no, not each other. They're like, hey, coffee, what, you call that black? That's not black coffee. You know, they're giving a hard time to inanimate objects. Like, they can't turn it off. They're just constantly always like that. So again, if things like the Oscars or the movie is slowing down or whatever, you've got great entertainment with those two.
Yeah.
So I think
Very
we're up to
much.
4.
Yes.
I think that puts us at 4.
So this kind of party, I feel like I need my friends there who are kind of like, can relax, can chill, can pay attention. So a lot of my favorite Muppets do not have good attention spans, so I cannot invite them.
That's so true.
But they will be invited with Miss Piggy to the party, so they're not going to be excluded.
They'll come.
They'll be
a part of something.
With that being said, I think the last 2 spots I would give to Kermit and Scooter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I think that they would enjoy it. We would all have like some pretty intellectually fun conversations about what we're watching, and that's what I'm looking for.
I was, if you didn't mention it, I was going to say outside looking in, you have to have Kermit.
Yeah.
And not just because he's the main character or anything.
Yeah.
I like Kermit is such the glue.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that's he is, and one of the things that's really like I've gotten a chance to learn from like this show and not realize that I didn't pick up on as a kid or anything like that is how important that is in life and how much.
Yeah.
I think we can all speak to a person in our life or a friend that is that Kermit for us, that is that kind of glue in the friendship or glue in the relationship or at work or something like that. I think workplaces, if you're fortunate, you have somebody like that. We don't have to think too hard, I think, to think of who that person is oftentimes.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet.
Kermit? Scooter's a great one too.
Oh, yeah.
If anything, hey, we're low on snacks, and Scooter's got it.
it.
Like he's, you wouldn't even have to
What a
ask
guy.
him. He's just a great guy.
Actually, the snacks like don't even get low because he's already on
right
it.
on. Yes,
You never
absolutely.
even notice.
Yeah.
Or if
Kermit?
something's wrong with the TV, he fixes it.
You're so right about that. Without it even before it even messes
Right.
up. Kermit, Scooter, Statler and Waldorf, and Uncle Dudley, and Fuzzy.
Yeah.
There we go. There's our 6.
Pretty good watch party.
That's going to be an awesome watch party.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank you for
that
watching.
question. If you want your question in the Patreon hat, you can join our Patreon. It is $5 a month. And you'll get every week on Wednesdays, I write a little letter on there. I call it the Rainbow Connection letter. It's just a letter to kind of see behind the curtain, and I'm pretty personable on there, or I try to be. I try to be on here too. I'm pretty open.
You do a great job of both.
Yeah, thank you. And every month we have a special video bonus episode and other fun treats that we like to put on there, and more to come.
Thank you to everybody who has already subscribed to it, and to anybody who is going to. Yeah, we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And a shout out to you because man, do you give them a lot for $5? Like you really go above and beyond.
I worry so much about that because I mean $5. $5 could get you a coffee or can help you fill up your gas tank. So I appreciate anybody who gives to that. So I want to give back and make sure it's worth your $5.
We're creative, so we know the value of $1.
Yes.
we know how much, so we don't make light of 5 or anything like that. Yeah.
And I truly appreciate it because I put a lot of work into editing and the audio and the video and scheduling and all of that. And I do enjoy it, but it does also take a lot of time where I'm not doing my day job and stuff. Right. So I really appreciate it as well.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate the best pod listeners out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You can continue to support us on Instagram and YouTube, and shoot us an email if you ever want to at whatthemuppet@gmail.com.
That was great. And on that note,
yes,
we'll see you later.
We'll see you soon.